Hey everyone, Ben here, back on iRacing for an absolutely cracking race at Jerez. We're car number 8, starting in P8 in this top split Formula 3 race. Now these cars go so well here and I'm confident we can get a decent finish. So let's get down to the grid and see what we can do. Right then, here we go. We're going to be starting on the outside for T1 here as we're waiting for the lights. So I'm going to have to be very careful that cars don't understeer out. We've got the red lights on and we are about to go green. There we go, but we've got a bit of a sluggish start. And Yana behind us in 9th place will have the jump, especially because Rino Scattini is going to come across the track to just head me off, getting around his outside. Yana's had a fantastic start. He's jumped both myself and Scattini and is now well up inside the top 10. We hook to the apex just to ward off Philip Maifei behind it from any kind of move down our inside. And then as we're coming through the long left-hander, look up ahead because Putnieks is going to get it all wrong. He just asks too much of those rear tyres on lap 1. They haven't got the temperature in them. They break loose and he's off and into the runoff area. You can see everybody struggling with tyre temperature, especially Yana up ahead. That's going to give Scattini a chance, who's carrying more momentum down into the hairpin. I'm going to try and see if I can follow him through, but I can't. There's just not room on the inside. Yana cuts me off and I'm going to have to settle back down into position. I'm not quite sure where we're running. It may very well be still in 8th place, having lost a spot to Yana, but gained one from the spinning Putnieks. And look at that, Yana well out wide again as he's just trying to push the car too hard in these early phases. It will understeer because the tyres just aren't up to temperature yet. You can't carry that much speed through these long corners here at Jerez until the car's up to temperature through the very tricky chicane. Once again it looks like Yana is out of shape. He's struggling big time here, but there's no room for me to get past. I'm going to try and force a move down into the hairpin, the last corner of the lap here, but he's just able to hold it ahead of me there. I just wasn't far enough alongside there to get my tyre inside, and unfortunately we've lost a bit of time coming out of the final corner there. Let's take a look on replay then of how Putnieks ended up off the track here, and you can see the rear tyres just breaking traction there. He does very well actually to keep it out of the barriers. He did get a knock on the front wing, but we will be seeing Putnieks later on in the race. Look out for that, but for now we're rejoining on lap 2 and we're still behind Yana. We are holding 8th position, and for the time being Scattini is clearing off into the distance. Now I should say this is a top split Formula 3 race and the front runners have got some electric pace, so I think probably the top 6 is as good as it's going to get for me today, and we're tucked nicely into the slipstream here of Yana again. Are we going to be close enough to make a move down into the very tight right-hander? We're not, but look in the rear view mirror, we nearly get a challenge from behind there. Thankfully we didn't get a tag and we're holding position. Unfortunately, I just wasn't close enough to make a move on Yana. I was probably then a little bit cautious heading into the corner, and we've dropped back a couple of tenths from the Ferrari liveried car up ahead as we're coming into another series of medium speed corners, and Yana has got it out wide onto the... Oh, he nearly spins as well as he was coming back from the gravel trap. We're going to try and put pressure into the chicane here, but we're just not close enough again. But actually, this is slowing me down here. Yana is making mistakes, but it's at parts of the track where there just isn't room to go side by side, and that's really costing me against the cars up ahead. We're on to lap 3 and I'm still in the slipstream of Yana up ahead again through this very fast right-hander onto the back straight, and we are closing in. We're getting closer and closer to that rear wing, but really to get past into this right-hander at the bottom of the hill, you have to already be alongside really in order to have half a chance of holding it on the exit. We weren't close enough once again. It's going to be another lap where we're following very closely behind and just trying to pressure Yana into a mistake. That feels like my best bet at the moment. All the while, Scattini is getting away up ahead as we come again through the right-hander, just trying to carry as much speed as you can, use as much of the track width as you can as well, without getting too many off tracks. We're hard onto the brakes once more into the chicane. I'm really struggling through this part of the track versus other drivers, but for now, look up ahead and it's Scattini into the pits. Now I look back at the replay I couldn't see any incident for him. I think he might have underfueled, potentially not changed his setup from quali. So we're up now into 7th position on lap 4, still following behind Yana and beginning to just get a little bit impatient in the cockpit here. So I'm going to try and force home a move if we can in the coming laps, because the top 5 now are well clear. There's absolutely no chance I'm going to be able to reel them in. They've all got significantly higher iRatings than I have. So really what we're fighting for here is the lead of Class B in this race. We're on to lap 5 then, still trying to put pressure on Yana, and we have broken away just a little bit from the couple of drivers behind. But as we get into the final corner of the lap, I'm going to carry just too much speed. I'm going to throw away what was looking like a personal best lap time there, and that's going to cost me time to Yana up ahead. It may put me out of the slipstream when we get onto the back straight on this next lap here. As we come into T1, once again, just hook it nice and tight. You can see I'm trying to regain some of that time lost there. Snap of oversteer on the exit of T1, try and hook the car close to the apex there and get a good exit from T2, but we have fallen back quite a bit from Yana here as we're coming through and then getting ready for the very high speed right-hander. The exit here is absolutely crucial, but once again I'm just going to carry too much speed. I'm going to get a tyre out onto the gravel. That could have been terminal for our race there if I'd gotten it out too much wider. Thankfully I was able to hold on, but I'm just getting a little bit scrappy here. Yana though locks up ahead, and we got more pressure from behind there. In fact, I think I might have even got a little tap. But on the very next lap, we'd have a new challenge from behind. Simon Stobart, who you'll remember we were racing with in Barcelona last time out in the Formula 3, makes the pass. So he's now the car directly behind me on track as I continue to follow Yana onto lap 7 of this race. The gap is stabilised. I'm not really reeling him in at the moment, but look up ahead, the first big mistake from Yana in a few laps, and that is going to bring me right back into contention as he had a huge moment of oversteer on the exit of the final corner. We've got way more momentum, the high ground into T1, and we're going to hold the apex. He drops right back looking for the switchback, I think, on exit, but he's not close enough. So finally we're up into P6 of this race, and now the question is, can I hold on to the position, because I know Yana is going to want it back straight away. I've got to keep my composure here, try and build a bit of rhythm, and ultimately try and build a bit of a gap to Yana and just win the psychological battle as much as anything that actually I'm going to pull away now that I've gained the lead between us. But look at this, he is in my slipstream. I'm going to have to cover off defensively here on the inside. He's going to try and get a tyre alongside on the outside, but there's no grip out there, and that's going to allow me to hold the corner. We get right up on the rumble strip and curb there, but thankfully we didn't go too far and out onto the grass verge. Once again then, going to just try and float the car through this left-hander, carry as much speed as we can in 5th gear, then get down into 3rd gear for this next set of corners. We missed the apex slightly there, and again another snap of oversteer. I'm trying to carry as much speed as I can, but then as we come into the chicane, I'm actually going to carry just too much. I'm able to hold on to it, but that was super close to causing an incident for myself there, but it's cost me quite a lot of time. Look in the rearview mirror, Yana is on the attack. I'm going to hold the car right to the left-hand side. He's going to come around the outside. You can see he's ahead at that part of the corner, but we're able to hold it tight, and thankfully we're able to fend him off. That was fantastic battling. Let's take a look back at it then. Here's the original mistake from Yana. You can see oversteer on the entry to the corner, and then he gets a big snap on the exit. That gives me the momentum to come down the start-finish straight, have the high ground for T1. He doesn't really put up too much of a fight. I think he knows that essentially the battle is already lost, but then at the end of the lap, he is trying to fight back around the outside of the final corner. But we hold a nice line on the inside. Now, unfortunately, over the next couple of laps, Yana's race would unravel somewhat. He loses a position to Stobart, gets a little bit of front wing damage, and then on the same lap, while trying to fight back with Stobart, just carries too much speed into the chicane. There's a couple more bits of contact, and that would be his race over. Now then, a pivotal battle would then unfold behind. Remember Putniak, who lost it on lap 1? Well, he's fighting back through the field in an epic fight with Stobart. They're going side by side, and all the while, I'm just building a gap to all 3 cars behind me here because they're losing time fighting with one another. This is working out fantastically well for me, but eventually Putniak's going to get the move down the back straight, and really unfortunately for Stobart, things are about to get much worse. Look for Maffei behind, he's going to be tempted into a move down the inside. They clash tyres, and unfortunately both of them have their race wrecked. And that really was the last significant action of the race. We had to really put our foot down and run consistent laps through the remainder of this race to keep Putniak's behind, who was on that recovery charge. And you can see he's closed right in to within a second, but we're able to hold on, cross the finish line in P6. Now a P6 might not sound like much, but with the top 5 drivers in this race being so strong, I think realistically this was as good as it was going to get for us. So I'm really happy to bring the car home. No real incidents to speak of, and we were running a good, solid, consistent speed. We get a bump to our I rating, a bump to our safety rating, and a good haul of championship points as well. What a fantastic car and track combination this is. If you've enjoyed the video, you'll love the one on screen too. I'll see you next time.